What's going on, everyone? This is Dom, and today we're taking a look at the 4th generation Apple TV and getting into the hardware and a closer look at tvOS, which brings the whole experience to life. But as you can probably tell, this new Apple TV is quite a bit taller than the previous generation. Side by side, you can see that it's almost twice the height, and while there's no clear explanation for this, it may be that the new internals need a bit of breathing room. Also, if you're not already, be sure to subscribe to the channel so you can be the first to check out new videos like these when they drop. Inside of the new Apple TV, we have an A8 chip and 2 GB of RAM running the show. It's packing 802.11 AC MIMO antennas for Wi-Fi, Bluetooth 4.0, an IR receiver, and some reconfigured ports on the back. Of course, we have the power cable connection point, an HDMI 1.4 port, which unfortunately does not support the output of UHD content, an Ethernet port, and a USB-C port, but that's not going to be used for anything at the moment aside from service and support. Compared to the 3rd generation Apple TV, the ports have slightly changed. Unfortunately, Apple has ditched the optical audio output, and the layout has shifted a bit because of that. The look and feel of the hardware is pretty much the same though. Very glossy sides with a matte finish on the top and the Apple TV logo front and center. Aside from the dimensions and port layout, everything here remains unchanged. The real difference is found in the software and remote. Apple has revamped the Apple TV's remote this year with a drastically different design and a new set of features. The front of this new Siri remote features a dual-tone glass finish with a glossy element towards the bottom and a matte finish indicating the touchpad's position. Yep, I said touchpad. You can swipe across this matte black area to navigate the new Apple TV and even use it as a clickable surface to select menu options, which is a step above the old circular directional pad found on the previous generation's remote. Now, comparing the two side by side, you'll notice some major differences in the layout. The Siri remote features a new set of buttons, which enables some features within tvOS. At the top, we have a standard menu button that acts as a back button for the most part, but next to that, there's a new button with a TV icon, which will take you all the way back to the main tvOS screen when pressed. Below those, we now have a Siri button that can be used to accomplish a wide variety of tasks, which we'll get into shortly, and there's also a play pause button and a set of volume up and volume down buttons for deeper integration with the Apple TV and your home theater. Near the top of the Siri remote on the front and back, you'll find microphones, which are used in conjunction with the Siri remote to listen for your commands. Now, further examining the backside, you'll notice that the old circular battery door has been retired in favor of something that makes a bit more sense. This new remote will now charge with a lightning cable, which is included in the box, and according to Apple, you should get months of battery life from a single charge. New hardware is long overdue, and that's great and all, but the real differences with this year's Apple TV lie in the user experience and the software interface, which has been completely redesigned. As mentioned, the new Apple TV features Siri integration, which is by far the easiest way to find what you're looking for throughout the apps and content available. Siri will search through everything on the Apple TV and return results surprisingly fast. You can ask Siri a wide variety of things, but they are limited to movies, TV shows, sports, and weather-related questions. All you need to do is hold down the Siri button on the remote, speak your question, and release. Setting up the Apple TV was extremely simple, but you'll need to be updated to iOS 9.1 in order to get the ball rolling. All I had to do was unlock my device and hold the iPhone near the Apple TV. From there, I was prompted to allow automatic setup, and after scrolling through a few menus and options to customize the experience, everything was golden. So basically, the new Apple TV is running a custom version of iOS 9 with support for the same graphics, sound, wireless, and accessory features found on iPad, iPhone, and iPod Touch. There's a shiny new interface on the top of it, which Apple calls tvOS, but developers can now just simply port over iOS games and apps directly to the TV, and as long as you can control them with the Siri remote, you're good. No need to deal with sluggish AirPlay games anymore. Thank God. I'm a big fan of the redesigned interface. Everything is clean and the navigation is smooth with the Siri remote's touchpad. The all-new UI is bright with San Francisco fonts and clean selection bars, and if you prefer the look of iOS 9, the new Apple TV really carries it over here with translucent panes, widget-like pop-ups, just like Control Center, and smooth animations. It's pretty dope. Apple has even added a parallax effect to the icons, which move at varying speeds when you wiggle your finger on the remote's touchpad. It's pretty fun to play with. At its core, the new Apple TV offers basic services and content that we're used to seeing with iTunes and iOS 9, and we'll cover those now. On the main screen at the top, you're presented with the top shelf, and this will feature recent titles, music, movies, shows, and more based on the icon selected from the apps below it. As expected, there are apps for movies and TV here, both of which will allow you to find new content and see your previous purchases all in one place. Now, jumping into a title will present you with relevant information about the movie or TV show with actors listed or upcoming episodes in the season. It's clean and well put together and makes it fairly simple to find what you are looking for. Now, during the playback of a movie or a TV show, you can ask Siri for information about the actors to pull up a widget-like card that will display results, and also you can simply swipe down from the remote's touchpad for relevant information about the movie or TV show, such as the description, audio, and subtitle settings. And as with the previous generation, you can easily AirPlay content from an iOS device or Mac straight to the Apple TV. There's also a photo app here with a familiar icon, because remember, this is based on iOS 9, and that will bring full iCloud photo library and albums to your Apple TV. So you can browse through the albums using the touchpad and swipe through the photos. And it allows you to start a slideshow using a specific set of photos or set an album as a screensaver. It's relatively simple as far as functionality goes, but essentially this is the easiest way to view your photos on the big screen. There's also a music app which enables Apple Music, bringing an unlimited supply of music to the mix. Here you'll have access to everything that you've added to your Apple Music collection and previous purchases. Along with that, there's Beats One Radio and several other radio stations available, but you can always create your own station based on an artist or a song. When listening to a song in a playlist or on a station, you have the ability to specify whether or not you love the song, and Apple Music will of course use this information to better serve you future songs. Now, clicking on a song in the Now Playing section will enable you to view what's next in the queue, and additional options are available through the menu icon above the album art. There's also home sharing available, which will allow you to access local content on your computer that can be streamed to the Apple TV. Simply enable home sharing on each device and you'll be able to browse through your music, movies, and TV shows stored on another computer. Jumping into the settings app reveals a wide selection of new options available with tvOS. First off, a very cool feature of the Apple TV is the ability to connect Bluetooth headphones and speakers for use as an audio output system-wide. And this will allow you to privately listen to movies or TV shows and stuff without having to bother who's next to you or without the use of the TV speakers. And the option is available within the settings and has worked fantastic so far. I'm a big fan of this ability. When the Apple TV is finally released, there will be an app store available which will hopefully focus on the gaming capabilities available here. The Bluetooth section will also allow you to connect traditional compatible game controllers, or you can simply use the included remote to play. Apple has big plans for gaming on the Apple TV, but I don't think it will be able to compete with consoles anytime soon. Either way, I'll get into the gaming capabilities more in the full review, so be sure that you're subscribed to the channel so you can be the first to check out that video when it drops. Now, you might have seen a glimpse of this in the intro of this video, but Apple has added a new set of video-based screensavers, and these screensavers can be found in the general settings, and when Arial is selected, you'll be presented with these beautiful video screensavers after a custom duration of idle time has passed. It appears that the Apple TV will only store a set amount of these at once on the device and download new ones every month, week, or day, depending on your selection, and run about 500 megabytes per download. So you'll always have fresh new HD video screensavers going on. Now, there's also a new set of accessibility settings available, and previously there were only options for voiceover, video descriptions, and closed captions, but the new menu adds a ton of new features such as zoom with adjustable percentages, bold text options, increased contrast settings, reduced motion, and audio description, and you can set it up to launch certain accessibility options with a triple click of the menu buttons through the settings as well, so kind of carrying over from iOS here. There's also a section within the settings to manage apps, which is pretty empty at the moment, but it'll fill up once more apps become available. And along with that, there's an option to manage storage on the device, which will populate the apps on the Apple TV and tell you how much space they take up individually. And within the accounts option, you'll find the ability to manage subscriptions for various apps and services on Apple TV, such as Hulu, Netflix, or other apps that are coming in the future. But I find it very handy to have all of this on the Apple TV. Essentially, there are a ton of new things to discover within the settings app, and if you'd like to see more images or info, I'll leave a link to an article on 9to5Mac in the description for you. But discovery is what the Apple TV is all about, and I think the new hardware features and tvOS are really going to make a positive impact in that category. Now this new set-top box is set to launch in the near future, and I'm looking forward to checking it out more. But I wanted to give you a brief look at some of the new software features and the hardware experience so that you know what to expect. But let me know what you think about the new Apple TV in the comments section below, and if you enjoyed this video, please feel free to hit that thumbs up button, as it does help out the channel a lot. Thank you very much for watching, everyone. This is Dom, and I'll catch you in the next video.